Oh, hello, hello, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these amazing people have gathered for one final time to have a go at the big bad beastie at the end of this campaign because tonight is a finale. And they're always bittersweet, and they're one of my favorite reasons for doing these fairly short campaigns because every 12 or 13 weeks I get to do a finale, and they're big, wonderful, mind bending experiences. So let's just get almost right to it. Right after we talk about the people, let's start with Carol. Where else are you playing?
Hello, everybody. I'm playing another game, Carnage Heights or Cyberpunk Red game. That's almost 3 years. I think it's already 3 years.
Yep.
And they are play the very mentally stable, very not addicted to anything Red Kraken, who now is a whole hoil of Red Krakens, and they contain multitudes. And thank you, Kevin, for doing all the crazy stuff in the overlay. I just watched the replay and I love all the jokes you put in. It was
Thank you.
very funny. Thank you for that. So that's I on a
On
Friday
Tuesdays.
game.
Tuesdays.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yep.
Me and the English days of the week doesn't don't match.
Today's Friday.
Today,
Yeah.
today I will play the ex Devilman, not Devilman anymore. Now
Yep.
he's powered with the power of the Nakama. So all One Piece fans should be happy because he's powered by friendship like a good anime character should be.
Yep.
So that's today you found me, hooray. And other than that, I loved our Discord. Please join our Discord. I love to talk about other games on this channel. And we have amazing archive up on YouTube. I adore watching the old stuff
Yeah.
that I wasn't a part of the channel.
Well,
When
thank you.
it's very interesting to watch and comment, and very
600
much
plus
built my
650
confidence.
plus episodes now, so yeah, there's lots to get caught up on. Let's move on because I want to get to the game, so let's quickly cut over to our Sunday GM, the man of many players, Siosa. Give us an update.
Well, we've started taking breaks every 6 weeks, which was what happened last Sunday. I'm still not sure how I feel about that. I'm happy that I'm, doing it for like mental health reasons, but
Yeah.
you know, like all Sunday I was like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. So,
Forever
um,
GM stuck in mode. Yeah.
yeah, we're going into episode 27 next time. Our Iron Princes are getting ready to meet, and there's an active explosion-related, assassination attempt against all of them. So
Excellent.
the
Yeah.
PCs get to navigate that. Um,
Nothing like a good assassination to bring a party together. On that happy
but,
note, yeah,
but
okay.
this is more like a full-on coup because they're just trying to
Oh,
kill every Iron Prince in the
oh,
country.
so they
So,
want they've made the logical conclusion that only they can rule this place. Gotcha. Yeah, definitely no strongman theory going on there. Anyway, no egos in the Sunday game. Absolutely none. Let's move along before somebody finds out where I live and kills me. Let's go with Deku Shrub Lily because I like using the whole names.
Hello,
Hello. What are you doing when you're not here?
living.
Living. That is a full time job.
Yep, just hanging out on the Discord, just looking forward to future games. All that.
All that, yes. And there are some future games coming. Thank you for the reminder. We will soon be, for however brief a time, at something like 6.5 games a week. In other words, 6 games one week and 7 games the next. We'll have to see. But either way, we are busy, busy, busy,
Yes, y'all are.
which makes me nervous, nervous, nervous because we don't have enough producers, producers, producers. But we're working on that. Put that over there and move on. Let's get to our last player tonight. Welcome back. We missed you.
Hi,
Janet.
hi,
Yeah, hi.
hello.
Hello, and thank you for staying up one last time until tomorrow to play with us. I'm blown away every time somebody does this, and you guys doing it on a regular basis just makes me think I must be doing something right. So thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. And where else can we find you? I don't have your links tonight. I forgot, but I'll put them in the YouTube when it goes up on there.
Have channel
Excuse me.
YouTube and Twitch as Anim Gems VTuber, where I'm doing streams and reviews. And today I posted my first review on Substack,
Oh,
my Siberia review in text form.
nice, cool. I still have no idea how that works, but I don't social media. So cool.
It's like blog.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. uh, I may just have the last 2 days be variety chill days. Yeah, that sounds, yeah. It is a lot of days, but I love doing this. So let's thank you, chat, for being here. Let's do the thing, shall we? I see I've got my favorite hammer in chat, so I will leave the bots to you, Hellhounds. Smash merrily away. But let's start then. Speaking of hammers, with Anchor, you are non-compos mentis, I think, is a fair description, not of sound mind when we last left you, tearing apart the remnants of a city and any zombies that were foolish enough / slow enough to not get out of your way. So let's just hand you back that scene. I want to see how that plays out.
So I think there's been like you know how they have like the scenes where you can kind of tell from the camera like where a character is, but you're not actually seeing them. Like you see like dust throwing up and like a zombie like slamming onto the top of a roof, and like that's kind of like the progress of Anchor through the city.
Yep.
And like he can be heard shouting, yelling, like putting the fear of Anchor into zombies. And then there's just a moment where it kind of like ends, and like the thunderstorm that's been overhead, like the lightning that's been crashing down, just seems to sort of part and spread out in all directions. And it's kind of like, I don't know if the crew is going to look at that point, or just one, or
I presume
Ben
that
is
the
watching.
crew is following you along, just like cheering you along like a drunk guy at a fight, right? I mean, they're
I mean, I think
yeah.
he's continually kind of like shouted at them to get back to the ship, mostly because he
Yeah.
doesn't want to like harm somebody by virtue of, throwing something at them or dropping a building on top of them. Those are regular parts of his strategy. So,
Yeah. So
I
Ben,
think they are watching from the ship.
yeah, I think they were
Okay.
watching from the ship.
oh,
and,
perfect,
and-
up in the tops, right? So you can see down. Oh, I love it. Okay.
Oh wait, who has no sound? Is it me who has no sound? They're saying that in the chat.
Oh, sound.
Huh?
I'm sending sound.
Hello?
Maybe we are muted.
Maybe
Just
Hello,
muted.
hello, hello.
Where was
I've
other
got
people
when
hearing
I
us?
listen to Twitch, I've got sound.
Is it Bison?
Yeah.
Me too.
And yeah, Glory's hearing it too. There's sound.
Yeah, maybe
You're
it's
not going
only
crazy.
our-
You're just yeah. Everybody's
maybe
hearing.
it's you, Bison.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hit the refresh button. Hopefully that'll help. Or check you probably muted Twitch on Tuesday.
No, he said he
to-
could hear like some of us. Oh, he had the tab muted. Okay.
Feces
so-
occurs, man. Feces occurs. Speaking of feces occurring, feces is flying in all directions as Anchor finally comes to a stop.
Yeah, but it's like, the rage like breaks like, like a wave does, and then it's gone.
I kind of imagine that the storm clouds above are parting and all the rays of sunset are sort of shining down, and he's kind of standing on a pile of rubble, and one ray of light is sort of
Yep.
shining
Yeah.
down on him as the
Beautiful.
rain
It's
Yeah.
like
ends.
one building that's left standing that he's actually inside of, that he hasn't like taken a wall down, that he hasn't torn anything down. And it, like, as the crew is approaching, like, I don't know if they know what it is because they don't have the same like experience of like the past world, but what he sees is like a library where like bookshelves have been knocked over. It's long since been ransacked, but where he stopped dead in the middle of, he's in like the reading corner that was set aside for children, the one where like dinosaurs are painted on the wall and stuff like that. And like the mighty Anchor is on his knees, just looking around at it. And all the rage is spent, and he's just sort of there. Um, and I think in his memory where he's at is like when he first bonded with Cassandra as a child, like after she'd kind of made her prediction and like bad things had happened.
Yep.
In his head, he's like back in that time where he's kind of talking to like a little girl, you know what I'm saying, and telling her that like they're not mad at you, you know, they didn't listen to you, and what you said came true, but that's not your fault. You didn't make it happen. Like all of the things he tried to do to reassure her,
Yep.
even as part of our community, was turning on her, was, you know, gave her her new name. And that's where the rest of the crew finds him, just kind of, you know, on his knees, lost in thought, lost in the past.
Cassandra, do you want to be the one that walks in?
Yeah, I think she would
Let's tell
after
the story.
seeing the
Yep.
storm break
Yep.
and hearing the lack of sound.
Yep.
She would want to go check on him and like maybe take that the speaker cart so that way just in case any stragglers that got managed somehow
Yep.
to get past Anchor or maybe he just didn't get around to them yet, keep them off of him.
Yep.
I think Ben would come with you as a backup.
Okay. So I want in my head Ben's in the street guarding because this building is
Yes.
still intact.
Yes, I love that.
Cassandra, you walk in and you see, first of all, library. There's a couple of books on the floor, you know, that didn't get ransacked, that haven't been burned for heat, that sort of thing. But then it's like the Hulk sitting in the nursery section, right? It's just, how do you respond to that?
Just feelings like she does remember too,
Yeah.
feeling lost and alone and then having this big old hulk of metal and wood being the most human person to her. Like feelings.
Yeah.
I'm I'm probably not conveying this properly, but
No, I get it.
she does
Mhm.
walk up
You are doing good.
to his back
Yes, this is what I want to hear.
and hold him by the shoulders, just
Just like
maybe
the big
shake
hug.
him
Yeah.
shake him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just puts a hand on her forearm
Yeah.
and kind of pats it. And he says, I've thought it many times. I don't know how many times I've said it, but my words can't convey how proud I am of you.
I never know what to say when you say that. Part of me in the back of my mind keeps telling me I haven't done anything worth it. I'm trying to listen to you. I'm trying to accept that the back of my mind is lying to me. And I guess thank you for being such a friend.
Um, he he doesn't like rise, but he does turn a little bit, and he says, "The world that was fell apart because those with power believed they knew everything. And you have power and strength, and you never stop listening, which is what makes you the captain that you are."
I hope to never forget that. I'll write it down as many times as I need to.
Yeah, he slowly rises. And
Hug.
yeah, he like just there's like a fierceness in this particular hug. Like he actually kind of lifts her up enough that her feet are dangling, you know, because he knows he doesn't have like that many more with her, and that weighs on him.
Would Cassandra
And
know that? Would you have ever shared with Cassandra that at some point when you're no longer needed, you go?
I think he did during one of their first conversations about her becoming the captain,
Right.
like that he knew that his role was like to sort of push the ships off into the ocean, you know, and Um, I think he does kind of like, but he hasn't like set her down yet.
Yeah.
But
She's not
he
letting
says,
go.
No.
he says the time's coming soon. Says this battle, this fight, it showed me that you and the rest of the crew are ready, and there are others who need me.
I don't like it. I don't like the thought of letting you go, but I know I have to. I've lost so many already.
Um, he just squeezes her again.
She's like doing that thing where you're kind of sniffling, but you kind of have to just suck it up.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
she starts loosening her grip and she says to him, "We still have a job to finish."
he kind of nods, and there's like a moment where like his eyes kind of like crackle especially hard, and there's like a lightning ball that like rolls down his cheek, and he kind of catches it and it like crackles in his hand, um, and I think he just kind of goes to like pick up the first glass thing that he can find, and he like drops it in there and just seems to like crackle continuously. It's definitely like a something of magic,
Yep.
and I don't know if it can be of use for anything, but it is a memento that he hands to her.
So
Accepts it tenderly.
literally, yeah, literally lightning in a bottle, like a little perfume bottle. Yeah. And with that in my head, I see the two of them walking hand in hand until they're almost at the ship, and then they have to kind of become professional again and go lead. Is that fair?
I think he pauses just before it and he says, "Has Vanessa returned yet?"
Not yet, not that I can see.
He
But then
says,
again, we wouldn't see her until the right moment.
"Then maybe she needs us to go looking for her."
Agreed.
She would call if she needed you. She's safe.
As you
Let's
guys get
trust
outside,
her.
yeah, you find Ben at the cart. So yeah, and
I
yeah,
he hands Ben like a stack of children's books from inside that he scooped up. It's
yes, yeah.
just
Ben would be so happy about it, and he would say, Mr. Anchor, thank you for lending me your strength. I managed to eviscerate my devil, and now the ship is my source of power, thanks to your magic tattoo.
he kind of smiles. He says, "If there's some time before we go, I heard your song. I think there's some things I should add to your tattoo."
I will accept it with joy. And look at my new arm. And his arm is he's like a kid is being happy to at his uncle. And his arm is from the same metal that Anchor is made.
He smiles at that, and like he just squeezes his shoulder, and he says, "You're going to make a fine bosun one day."
And my
Thank you,
head
sir.
is reminding me that there's, in some cases, up to 12 anchors on a sail of a ship of the line. And now, from ever on now, Ben is going to be one of the little anchors. Uh,
I loved it. I'm
uh,
all for it.
so, because I want to get us where we're going, the three of you get back to the ship. And as the crew comes back on board from their night of, I mean, it's the equivalent of a big party, right? A big pirate party for them. But as they come back on the boat, they sense the seriousness of the situation, and you watch them. It's almost like a switch as they step off of the shore and onto the ship on that walkway. By the time they've crossed that difference and step on the ship, their crew, they're back in business. Yes, some of them are still absolutely hammered, but they're marching up and down. They're tying their lines. They're checking they're trimming their jibs and the whole bit. They are pros. But the trick is, they're going to have to stay here because from this point on, the river is no longer big enough for the Espoir. So the silver bottom boat would be the right size for the three of you to go in. if that's the route you want to take.
With our little outboard motor.
Yep, your little trolling motor. You take your tech and put it on the boat. Yep.
And
Anything
can we
anybody
take
wants to
a-
do before you leave the boat?
Ben will take the chickens. He has to
Okay.
take the chickens, and
Just in
I
case.
forget. Yeah, and I forgot because in the description of the ability with the chickens, I do like the animal you choose loves the character. So the chickens are following Ben. They love him. He loves them back. All the chickens have names starting with an F. It's changing all the time.
Yeah.
But they are bonded with each
So
other.
it is.
and
It is
it's-
really Gonzo and the chickens.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you
that's
gather.
why I wanted to.
You gather the
say that.
chickens with you in the boat.
And maybe we can take the light cannon with us, or is it too big? Because
That's way
it's
too
so
big.
cool.
That's
Far too big.
That's just barely fits on the big ship. That takes up a
Oh,
whole
okay.
slot.
No
You've
problem.
got that. Yeah, Cassandra. Let's.
I think by now Cassandra would have to renew the magic circle on the back of her hand.
Yes. Yeah.
That only stays for a few hours. So she's redrawing the circle with wave upon wave upon wave curling into a point on the back of her hand.
Does she want that as a tattoo?
I think so, but it's a question of because the condition verbatim for activating her book is she has to draw it upon the back of her hand,
So
like every time she wants to cast.
So how about you get the tattoo, and when you want to use it, you trace it with your finger. That still counts as drawing it to me.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
Maybe
But
speeds up the
I think-
process.
Because the other reason I really love this is story wise. That the ship is you're boating up there. The motor is busy moving the ship. Meanwhile, as you're going, Anchor is tattooing maybe first Ben, and then Cassandra on the way up the river. Everybody full knowing that this is probably going to be the last tattoo you're going to get from him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that because in my mind, the
I am not going
tattoos
to make it to the
from-
end of this episode without crying. Holy shit.
because in my mind, tattoos from Anchor are magic. Like
They are.
there
literally.
is some soul sharing, so they are
Bonds,
always
yep.
connected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if Anchor is away, but this. They
Yeah.
always
So-
gonna feel each other.
It's
thanks to
in my
this
head. It's
magic.
going to give you a bond with him as well, because I saw the note earlier. Anchor now has maximum bonds with everybody on the crew, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, 3 out of 3 with everybody. I don't know if
Yeah.
it goes higher than that.
Technically,
has that
that's
with
all
the
you
shoe.
can have. So
I
yeah.
used my level up to level up my bond with Cassandra.
Yeah.
But so if Ben's okay with it, can I describe the tattoo Anchor would give him?
Please, yeah.
So
Go for it.
So there was the boat that was at like the bottom of it last time. It had like the 2 faces of like the different aspects of his god. What he tattoos under the boat is using the a bar of music, like the lines and then the notes under it as waves instead. And for those who know the music, the line is the opening chords of Thunderstruck.
I
love it.
I
Because
have
what?
question.
Yep.
I have question.
Yep.
After this battle, Vanessa, we have also last tattoo from
Oh yeah.
Anchor.
Yeah. We'll have time.
Definitely, it's a must.
We'll have time. Yeah. On the
Wh-
ship ride
what-
out for sure.
What I think is that Ben has one of the parts of the deal he made with his devil before the devil went poof, is that he remembers the music before the world, and he like wants to share it with the world to make the world remember the good parts of the past.
Okay. And then the Cassandra tattoo is the magical symbol.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. So as you're tattooing, I think sort of as you finish Ben, turn around and start on Cassandra's hand, it's all sort of one hazy, semi-magical, mystical moment, which is sort of reflected by the world around you. You leave that devastation that's around the city behind. And the further up the river you go, first it's scrub, but then it's forest. By the time you get to the base of the volcano, it's almost tropical. And for the first time, other than the chickens in the boat, you see insects, you hear birds, you see small mammals, and maybe even a lizard or two on the shore of the river. As you make your way forth, it's almost unnaturally lush. And then you see ahead of you, as you come around a bend, there's a bluff sticking up out of the water, and on the top of it, you see the occasional puff of steam and smoke coming out of a little vent on the side of the mountain.
There's our man.
There is
I
our mark.
guess.
Tie
Yeah,
up the boat. Yeah.
Anchor just nods and kind of shoulders his anchor and pulls the boat like out of the water.
Yep.
Um,
And it makes that sound as it comes up on the beach, that onto the skidding sound up onto the beach. The three of you step out.
And Ben would say, I think Vanessa will be there. I can feel it.
I would be shocked if she wasn't. Let's go greet her.
And as you start to climb, you find a trail that at one point looks like it was a road, but it's long overgrown. But since then, it's been pounded flat by hundreds. You've seen that, you know this enough to know it now, by hundreds of zombie feet. Somebody marched hundreds of zombies up here, and it goes directly into the cave that you're heading for.
No
The,
choice but to go forward.
Nice of him to show the way for his death squad.
As you step in to the darkness and allow your eyes to adjust for a moment, the tunnel, and that's what it is, it's been shaped. It was a vent, but it's been shaped so it's got a flat floor and walls now. It only goes about 10 meters, 10 yards, and then it opens up. And as you step forward and your eyes adjust more, you can see that the inside of this thing is like a body of a snake coiled up on top of itself, getting smaller and smaller and smaller as it goes up near the top. And right at the top, open and twisted to one side, is the skeleton head of a leviathan. And that's the mouth of the volcano. You look down and you're sure that up until very, very recently, there wasn't any smoke coming out of here. There wasn't active. But you look down now, and in the far distance below you, there's a pool of lava just bubbling slightly. Ahead of you, you can see there's a ring cut into this, not into the bones, but into the rock between them. This is like a fossil. And it leads partway around the ring, and there's another door going into, not a door, another archway going into a lump of rock that sticks out from the side. It looks like there's something inside that. It's big enough to have a space in it. As you're taking all that in, do you continue walking forward?
If I remember correctly, this is about where. Oh wait, no, I guess not. Never mind. But yes, continue.
I almost did the 3-point drop, and then I remembered we've changed it. So yes, as you step forward into that open space, there's a flicker of movement off to your side, and as you turn, there's Vanessa. Vanessa, you said you were looking cool, so it's like arms crossed, leaning against the wall,
No,
waiting for them. Or let me see.
no,
Tell me.
Why can't I have on one and I looking at them and think, have you missed me?
And
Yes.
as you turn to look at her, I mean, all of you can tell something's different. Just the joviality in the voice, right? The hey, did you miss me?
I mean, she's also in a new outfit.
A new outfit, new hair. There's a freedom about her. Ben, as someone who's recently had their demon excised, you can see she's no longer possessed.
Yeah, I think because every time they interacted with each other, they felt the demons fighting, and Ben would smile at her like he never smiled at her before, and he, hello, Vanessa! I see you got rid of your fucking demon as well. Congratulations! Also, where did you get those cool clothes? I want some as well after the fight.
In the city. And
You
thank you.
Anchor is he's using his the Heart of Gold power to like basically just see what's going on with her.
Yep.
Like, and I think the most pressing question is like, is she happy with these changes? Is she happy with who she is or what she's gone through?
Yeah. Vanessa?
I would be like, I don't know. It just happened. And so it's everything new for me. And she will shrug.
Well, it's not a question posed out loud. It's his ability to kind of like see into her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's in just a sense whether she's like happy or proud of the changes that she's gone through. It's not necessarily whether she would like cop to them aloud.
So do you feel good about it? Bad about it? Still not sure? But even when he looks inside, is it still sort of
Confused.
unsure? Okay.
Confused.
Yeah.
Confused because everything new.
Right. Okay. Does that work?
Yep.
Okay.
And he steps forward and while she's still kind of affecting her cool pose,
Yeah.
he scoops her up with one arm and hugs her and lifts her off her feet too.
Vanessa, do you yeah?
She will hug back and
Mhm.
she will kind of shrug her whole pose because she can't keep with this when this hug anchor hug her
Yeah.
take her away.
Yeah. You're sort of hugging all the way around his, 1.5 shoulders, right? You can't even get all the way around.
Yes.
Uh,
I will neck. I don't neck.
around the neck,
hug.
just hanging on. Oh, I love it. And then now that you're back together, we move forward.
What he does as he sets her down, he's like, "You missed a hell of a fight."
there were
I'm-
traps, so
I'm kinda-
Vanessa.
Vanessa will say,
Yes.
I'm kind of sad. While fun, I'm sad.
Um, he smiles. He says, "When we find this asshole, I'll give you first crack at him."
Okay, I can't wait for this.
So you start to move forward. Is it fair to say that Anchor's going first? I presumed that was going to be the case. Yeah. Not that it really is going to matter because you walk all. There's only one place to go. You got to go around this ridge, right? Around this trail, this path to this sealed off cave area. And as you step in, and yes, there were traps. Vanessa would know that there are traps upcoming, and that's why it's no surprise when you see the first of them on the floor. It's really obvious, this one. There's 9 tiles on the floor, each one of them numbered from 1 to 9 like a big Sudoku puzzle. The tiles clearly move when you step on them, and all 9 of them make up one giant trap door. There's a zombie arm sticking out of the door, like it closed on the arm, and the arm is still sticking out. But there's the footprints that walked along here. You can tell that the army was marched in here, but then you can tell somebody put something down over this, marched the army over it, and then removed it. So it's essentially it's a zombie gate. If they try and come out here and don't solve this puzzle, the door will open and they will fall in. But it's the numbers 1 to 9 on various tiles set in front of you.
Should we roll anything?
You can certainly roll the size up if you'd like. So vinegar.
One moment, please.
Ouch.
Roll me too.
It's
I
10
got
for me, and
experience.
I think I got 0
For
vinegar.
what it's worth, Cassandra, that gets you an experience point.
Yep.
Yeah, and I rolled 10. It's plus 0.
Ooh, that's another fail. Oh my goodness.
Anchor is like 8675309.
Oh my goodness. All three of you failed. There was 2 5s and a 4. So that's Vanessa, Ciosa, and Cassandra. It's you're well, here's the answer.
What
You're
I'm-
overthinking it. Yeah.
I was more of the mind of, what kind of bullshit is this? This fucker.
Yeah, too mad to think. I love it.
Little
And
bit.
Ben gets it with a 10 or not?
Yeah, with a 10 is a full success. That's the double successes. It's as simple. You remember this guy, right? You remember the signs from town. This guy's all about order and pattern, and it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And Ben just says, Capitan, you taught me that in math class in our little classroom. Look, it's here.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Ben's like, the only thing you can think of is you just count. I know how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right?
Yeah.
And do
And
you
like,
go then
teacher,
first?
teacher.
Yes,
Yeah, so click, 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 click.
that
click,
is
click, click.
correct.
Yeah.
Well done, Ben.
Thank
And-
you, teacher Capitan.
And Anchor kind of like, my dad told me to never use that as a password.
And Vanessa is like looking at them like children's acting with math and everything when she's serious and she find it with this math.
Yep. And the 4 of you make your way past the first puzzle. As you move along, you see things on the wall, these signs like you saw in town, and again, they look like they've been drawn with a ruler, right? There's just perfectly, it's just the organization, the control required by the person doing this tells you a lot about who you're after here. It says things like do as you're told, obey, follow instructions. And then there's
And
one
it-
that's yeah.
Vanessa will comment like someone have eco problem and spot out at these lines.
And as you come around, come to this bend, it's sort of it's a rough-hewn cavern. The floor is perfectly smooth, but the walls are sort of just roughed in. It doesn't look like they're finished yet. But it says there's an archway cut into it, and it says around it, "Let the least be first."
I think on
Least
the
of
way.
what?
Feel free to do a size up roll again. So another vinegar roll.
Oh, me
Yep.
too.
Oh yes.
Another experience.
Yep. Oh my goodness, yeah, you rolled a 2.
It's
So
a fail for me, 6.
another fails, so yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
What
and-
about
Oh
me?
my goodness. Oh, I only rolled 1, sorry. Let's roll 2. There we go. You more, Vanessa, you understand that this is about order, the least being first. It's like you've got to figure out some order as to which order you're supposed to go through this archway in. Who got the success? Ciosa or Anchor this time. That makes perfect sense. You look down at the 3 in front of you, and you look at the wall, and you notice there's sort of a gradient carved into the wall from lowest to highest. You're muted again.
You're muted, Ciosa.
It's shortest in front, tallest in back.
Yes.
Oh, and one more small thing. On the way, when there is all these perfect roller obey things, Ben would take some soot from his body because he's now a ginger in my mind. So he would take some soot
Yeah.
and just scribble some graffiti on it.
Just to
Ju-
make
just
it
to mess
dirty.
with the
Just to make
perfection.
it
I
less than
get-
perfect. Yeah.
I get success or fail.
You
Yes.
had a single success actually. So yes, you again would have figured out that there's an order that it had to be done in, but yeah.
I guess maybe about its order of position, like from lowest to Capitan.
Yes. And then you present that thought, and then Anchor says, there's a line here on the wall that goes up like this.
Yeah.
So thank you. That's good roleplay.
Yeah,
Janet,
he
that's really
says
good. Yeah.
he's
You almost
too
got it.
egotistical. He says he's too egotistical for that. He wouldn't acknowledge a captain or anyone other than himself. This is about size, literal size. He thinks in math.
Yeah.
So
And then he kind of like orders everybody by their height.
Yep.
Like, so
I don't know who is
I'm not.
higher.
I'm not
than,
gonna. I'm not gonna ask. It doesn't matter. You guys organize yourselves in order of height, and step through. Each time you step through, you can see built into the archway. There's these little sparkles, and as the first one walks through, they kind of light up like a on a an equalizer.
Green. Yeah.
Actually, like in OBS, like on an equalizer, you get the bouncing light. It's like that, and it goes up, and as long as it goes up and up and up each time, you finally, when Anchor walks in at the end, behind you, the lights go back down and out. You're through that
In my mind, Ben is a short king.
one. Speaking
I
of,
was
yeah,
I was thinking that Vanessa is short because she's assassin.
Yep.
So smart and fast.
yep, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it fits. Two ex-devil people are short.
Different. So beyond that, there's another short section of hallway, and then it opens again. And what you see ahead of you is an unfinished exit, audience chamber. I mean, it's a huge arched chamber that's been cut into the rock walls, but it's only very rough, been very roughed in. Even the floor here isn't smooth yet, and that seems to be the first thing that's happening. But in there, you can see, you can hear in the distance just a basic bass beat, just boom, 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 boom. And you can see the room ahead of you has got over 100 zombies in it, and they're all just chipping away at the walls. As you get closer, the sound stops, and the zombies turn towards you.
Vanessa will pull out her instrument.
Mm-hmm. Ben?
So
Yeah.
you said this was a hallway?
You're in a hallway that opens up into this big room ahead of you that's got all the zombies in it. So yes, yeah. I think I see where you're going.
Ben would pull out his violin.
Mm-hmm. So, I just want to start. Vanessa, as you start, you said you get out the little drum, right? And you
Yes,
start drumming.
because it will be her instinct
Yeah.
to do something when this drum stop and not have crowd of zombies at her.
Yep. So it does sort of stop them, and they start marching in place, but they're still between you and where you need to go. Ben, you said you pulled out the violin.
Yeah.
Cassandra and Anchor, what are you guys doing?
Anchor's looking to Cassandra, like if she wants him to throw down, if she wants him to be a shield, if they want to try to sneak around. He's following her lead on this.
I was hoping for one wall and one side of. Okay, brain, please.
Take your time. Let us know what you're thinking.
Yes.
I kind of wanted to flush him like a swirly with
Yeah.
my water hose thing.
Okay, so you
And
prepare
But,
steal him
to
on book, or
you start
the-
talking and working on that. Yeah,
Yeah, like
that's absolutely valid. Yeah.
move a whole lot of zombies all at once
Yep.
out of the way.
Speaking of moving a whole lot of zombies at once out of the way, Ben, you can see that Vanessa is stopping the zombies, but you know from previous experience, you can make them dance.
Ben would start playing Thriller on his violin, like Michael Jackson Thriller, for them to dance the dance.
Just pull out the violin and start the finger plucking the first part, right? Dun, dun, dun,
Yep.
dun, dun. The second you start to play, Ben, you know what's coming.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
Vanessa will look at chicken around Ben
Yep.
on floor.
Yeah,
So yes,
the
and
chicken
I
is
was
also doing
gonna
the
get to that.
thriller
Yeah, the
dance.
chickens are doing the zombie dance right in front of Ben, but I wanted to paint the whole picture first. So yeah,
Is it
Vanessa,
still
you can see them
happening with
stop.
no demon?
Ben, you start. Oh yes, the pain is still there. The
Yes.
flashbacks are still there. The truth, as much as you accepted it before,
He
you're
still
now
feels the
you're
pain of those
in
memories.
it when you're there. The second you are playing, you are back at your home, back in your childhood. You're not looking back on it anymore. You're there. What does that look like?
I think Ben is in his life there was like he was 6, 7 years old and his mother was neglectful. She was a young widow and she kind of fool around with Sven. She left him alone. She went to taverns, to parties, and she didn't take care of her kid. And Ben was a neglected child, and he didn't understand why. But that's little Ben. Adult Ben, the current Ben who is there now, feels it, understands it, and he's like getting between them and says to her, "You should have done better. You, I don't." I understand you wanted to have fun, but why have me if you didn't want me?
That's where we're gonna stop that this round. You're just playing your soul out. All of this rage is pouring out of you as you try to change the past, and Ben, it doesn't work. You can't stop her. You can't keep her from doing what she did to little Ben because you're only watching, even though you're there. Cutaway. Ben, what this means mechanically is that you can't move. So you're going to stay here and play. And as you do that, you can open up, you can do what Cassandra was going to do with a flood. You can open the way and allow the rest of them to pass through because you see on the other side of this room, there is another door, another hatchway that obviously the bad guy is down there because they're not in here.
He will do that.
So
for
we're going to
them.
cut back to you and back to you and back to you, but we're going to leave you frozen here for the moment. The rest of you, you see your opportunity. Do you head around to the gate, to the door?
Sort of. He
Yeah.
Anchor sees like Ben freeze, right?
Yeah.
And he's clearly like focused on his music and lost in it. And he also knows that Cassandra is like working on her magic, which is like not only going to like Ben can get us through, but Cassandra can like take them out of the equation, period, which
Yes.
means they can't become
Yep.
a problem later,
Yep.
etc. So both of what they're doing is critical right now, but he also thinks that it could be better served being on the other side of the room.
Yep. Perfect.
So for
Yep.
him, he just like one arms each of them up onto a shoulder,
Yep.
and then he's like walking down like a dad on
Yep.
the beach with his kids.
Yep.
Just
Perfect.
Vanessa will, yeah, wait for me, and she will cut her drum and
Yep.
run
And
back
run
in
sort of
the
between sort of Anchor and the wall in this nice safe place, right? I love it. Beautiful. When you get to the far end, we're going to have Cassandra's going to cast as soon as you put them down. But you realize when you leave this room, you may have to leave Ben here if Cassandra's magic doesn't wipe them out. But that's up to a moment. Ben is still playing on your shoulder. You get to the far side of the room. Cassandra, you have finished. I made you wait 2 turns, so we're not gonna make you wait anymore. You finished tracing out your fresh tattoo on the back of your hand with your finger. And yeah, and what do you as you the power hits and you feel Pointy in your mind smiling, and you hear him say, "Perfect form." What do you do?
Because this room is circular,
Yep.
I'm sort of aiming at a wall to make the water curve, and so that way the water
Yep.
swirls and swirls,
Yep.
and maybe knock some zombie heads against the wall or
Oh,
something.
absolutely. Yeah. So
So
the whirlpool, the zombie
that would
whirlpool.
be roll plus Spitfire,
Yep.
I believe.
Yep.
Boop. 6.
Ooh,
Damn.
damn. You have just you're gonna go
I'm
up a
gonna give
level, but
you.
yeah.
I'm giving you a +2.
Okay, so that's an 8. So that does succeed.
I can also band give Cassandra.
Yep. We're gonna, yes, let's do that. So the way I like this, Cassandra, you finish the tracing point. He told you it was perfect. You release it, and there's just it's. I mean, it's good, but then you remember who you're doing this for, and how this is it. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen to you guys after today. And so for team, and as the captaincy sort of just hits you in the heart, and you just crank it up for them, and that swirly starts, and it's not killing them, but it is absolutely just pounding them off the walls and breaking bones, and just between that and Ben's playing, they're not going anywhere.
Should I take away look for using the magical music?
Yes, but don't worry about it.
Oh.
I mean, yes. So yeah, but I'm still kind of tempted to leave Ben here to play over the maelstrom so they don't climb out. If that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. I just want to because there's a thing I want to do. You'll see very very shortly. In fact, you'll see now. When you get there, you realize that Ben's going to have to sort of stay at the door because he can play to keep them from getting out of the whirlpool and through this door as they get whipped past you guys. So you'll have to leave him here. As you turn around, Vanessa, you saw the traps from above. You know there's another one coming. But from down here, you can see it's a little bit diabolical. It is a crossbow, a series of crossbows mounted in the far wall that will fire if anybody steps into the hallway ahead of you. But you can see with your trained assassin's eye, there's a target about this big. There's a space where there's one brick missing. And you can see in there's a lever. If you hit anywhere inside that hole, you'll jam at least some of the crossbows for that round. If you hit the lever, you'll jam them all. But it does mean you will have to stand in this hallway to shoot. So, mechanically speaking, if you roll a 6 or under, you're going to take 2 points of harm because you didn't stop any of them. If you rolled a 7 to 9, you're going to stop about half of them. You'll take 1 point of harm. And if you roll a 10 plus, you hit the lever and none of them will fire this round.
I shoot.
Okay. You fire away, and you are using... this is the first time you shot with... since you lost your demon, right? So you line up the shot, and you can feel your mortal body is not as good at this. And then you feel the Leviathan step into the space in your head, and he doesn't command you. He doesn't control you. He says 3 words, 4 words, 3 if you count the contraction. You've got this. And your hand locks down.
I also take deep breath before shooting.
Yeah. And that's a 5 plus 2. So that first shot pings off the Yep.
I'm giving her a +2 as well.
Okay. So
thanks.
You fire and you realize you can sort of see the ball, and it's like, damn it, I put it in the hole, but I didn't hit the lever. And you hit the edge of the brick of the hole, and it deflects and hits the lever. And tunk, you feel you can hear all the drawstrings go slack, and then they start to wind up again. Tick, 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 tick. So you're going to have to shoot on a regular basis to keep this thing stopped.
I will sweat and then shoot again.
Okay. Cassandra? Yeah, what are you doing? Cassandra and Anchor.
I was wondering if I could burn the drawstrings.
You can certainly, yep. So the fire, the water on this end, the fire.
You can certainly try.
Yeah. So you've burn another luck, or whatever. But you're unleashing mysterious power. So you roll Spitfire. Give me that this time. We gave you the last one for free. So this time, let's see.
That one is a 12.
That's better. Yep. So I like this. You zap this. It just, in my mind, it's just like a little mote of fire that goes down follows that same line that Vanessa's shot did. and goes into that hole and goes whoomp behind the hole. And you can hear it starting to burn, and you can hear strings starting to go twang, 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 twang. There's still a few left, but you got most of them. So I'm going to require one more round of shooting from Vanessa. But Anchor, what are you doing?
Vanessa have another idea.
Yep. But I just want
There
to let Anchor do their first thing first. Then we've all
Okay.
done one thing, right? Okay, Anchor.
So she just cut most of the strings to most of the crossbows.
Yeah.
Then I think Anchor is going to be as subtle as Anchor is, and he's just going to move to like the last two
Yeah.
and just rip them out of the wall.
Yeah.
Like he could probably go and reach and like pull the lever, but
Yeah,
like the crossbows are closer.
Yep. So yeah, I like that. Anchor just anchors. Vanessa, you're lining up the next shot, and brute force
No.
goes through your line of sight.
I get,
And then you said you
I
changed your
get-
mind. So what do you
I
do
get
instead?
that.
Yeah.
I wanted, before Anchor wanted destroy,
Okay.
I was thinking that what if I will break some of walls from this auditorium and use as shield, so this crossbow will shoot this plate of rock.
Okay. I think that works well with what Anchor's doing. You're sort of trying to figure out how to do that, and as he hits the end, the rocks move, and you're able to shift them around. In fact, what I'm going to do here is say that Anchor is going to solve the problem with that, but you use the same basic idea to pull some rocks into a way to block the path behind you, so that Ben no longer has to stand and play his violin to keep the zombies away. Does that work?
Yes, okay.
Okay. All right.
That works great. We can just like Anchor can set the rock in place and like pull Ben through.
Yeah, absolutely. So the four of you get past that, and now you can tell you're into their private space. There is just one small hallway left, and at the end of it, the only door you've seen so far. It's a red wooden door set into the rock face. Anchor, you can feel it as you step into this hallway. The roof, it's not a collapse. This is a trap. It starts to settle on you like the squeezy thing in Star Wars.
Mhm.
But the roof is coming down on you guys. I said
So
you got it
it's-
first because you're tallest. So yeah.
Yeah.
Side. I want to roll side if there's any lever.
Okay, yep. I'll give you a size up, yeah. And Anchor?
How much time do we have to get through to the other side of the door? Like, is it?
It would be
Maybe size up from everybody.
that works. But because it was such a pointed question, you've got maybe 10 or 12 seconds before it gets past the top of the door, and you're not sure whether you'll be able to open the door past. I mean, you can go through it, but you're not sure if you'll be able to open it past that point.
I
Okay.
got 9 for size up.
Okay. And Vanessa also got a 9. So the two of you see that the door itself seems to be the trigger. If you go and open the door, it will stop the roof.
Vanessa, we run
You
the
run,
door.
okay. And Anchor?
Anchor's just stepping in and reaching his arms up
Just-
and keeping it like he's happy to pit his strength against it
Yep.
and give them however many extra seconds and whatnot.
All right. So give me, I think a break in or out because you're trying to break the roof. So that's plus
Sure.
blood.
What attribute is okay?
Plus blood.
Does my wreck help on this any?
Sure. Yep. You're doing damage to the roof. You're actually attacking the roof. In that case, it's getting a scrap, but that's still blood. So yeah.
Yeah. So 8.
8. Okay. That is 1. So you get the, you wrestle something away from somebody, or so you keep it enough so that they can get to the door. It doesn't close that far. Vanessa and Ben sort of together run down the hallway, grab the doorknob, and
Yep.
turn. Cassandra, what are you doing when you see that?
I'm right behind him.
Okay. So you turn the handle, you push the door. The ceiling lifts up from Anchor.
Moment.
Yeah.
Moment, I have idea.
Yeah.
I will not just run. I will use my grappling hook to door.
Okay, so down the hallway, pull the door open. So that I like that. So as you get there, you it's almost anticlimactic because what's beyond that door is just a little bedroom carved out of the rock. And you've got time to notice that this bit is done. Like, not just carved, but this looks like the outside of a Gothic cathedral turned inside out. There's fake windows carved in the rock, but there's filigree. It's the amount of skill and effort that went into this is beyond the pale. And in the middle of it, perfectly centered, like you could check it with a ruler, is a bed. And cowering behind the bed is the only thing that's not perfect in this room. And he looks like somebody broke a yardstick. Like, the clothing he's wearing looks like it used to be perfect. The suit used to button, the threads lined up when you buttoned the suit. Right? His hair looks like it was measured and cut with a protractor. But it's gone bang since. He's even got a couple days growth of beard, and you can see him scratching at it like it's making him crazy. This is he. This is the beast that destroyed this island. And he's cringing behind his bed. What do you do?
I guess look for something to wedge the door open so it stays open.
Yep. You grab a chair and pull it over, and you can see him go, because you moved his chair. But he's beyond words. His eyes are, to use my vernacular, his eyes are pointed in different directions. He is, we used the phrase non-compos mentis before. This is a shattered remain of a human being. And as you move that chair and go to block the door, all you can hear is, put it back, put it back, put it back, put it back.
No.
And that's how we think, geez, this person need therapy. But she didn't say anything.
Vanessa,
Ben-
I'm gonna give you a freebie here too. You get a little flicker in your mind, like a memory of a memory of a memory. This was your third target. This is Nevik. Just in case anybody wasn't sure.
Vanessa's thinking, God, good I'm not longer assassin because I would feel bad shooting to him in this state. He really need therapy at your village.
So Vanessa, I can imagine, like, you came in like you're an assassin, right? So you came in pistol out, ready to go, and then it's just sort of dropped.
Yes,
Okay. Ben, I want you next because you sort of just backed away from the hole and were able to just stop playing, right? And you've had that whole moment where you tried to stop what happened and you couldn't. You turn around, and as damaged as you are, you see this in front of you. He's worse than
Ben
Sven,
would-
right?
Then is this guy, and Ben, knowing that this fucker has done the whole zombie thing and seeing what he did to the people in those cages, he would have a cat moment, and he would find a glass and just push it out of the cupboard to hurt him even more, and he would say to him, "What happened to you, you fucker? Great old master of zombies who destroyed the world." He would ask him
So
that.
Ben is as mad as he should have been at Sven. Vanessa's is questioning whether he needs to be punished at all. Anchor, guess who I'm saving for last, Captain? Anchor, what's your response?
He knows that ultimately what's driven him and Cassandra to be here more than anybody is like these answers over vengeance. Like vengeance has a place, and he knows Cassandra has anger at him,
Yep.
like, and it's reasonably justified. But he also knows that like the answers are the only possible thing for closure. Does that make sense? A sense of
Yep.
at least why this person did what they did.
Yep.
And so he's looking around, looking for books, looking for journals, looking for things that might explain the descent, the original purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
Oh, yeah.
he's just he wants to put it into a context that he can understand. Because right now it's like a madness on top of a madness on top of a madness, and like the the thing that compelled him long ago to make the deal with the sea that he did was a sense that things should have a purpose and an order and a reason. And that is like what gave him his rage and gave him the spirit that he is. Um, at the time it was his loss and his own loss of life, like that it was just like, what is the point of this? It was utterly meaningless, all that suffering for nothing. And so now he's at a similar point again. Why all this suffering? And he needs to find a reason within it. And so he's not moving yet. He's waiting for Cassandra. He's willing to act on her orders.
I'm gonna, without a roll, I'm gonna give you, as you said, you look around, you see on a table a set of toy soldiers, but they're, I mean, I was gonna say they're ancient, but compared to you, they're not. But they're little metal soldiers from before, the little pewter ones that are hand painted, and you can tell that they're old because the paint's peeling off, and some of them have lost their little rifles. But it's the Battle of Waterloo, right? There's the red guys and the blue guys on the table. They're all lined up in perfect ranks. He's got some of them knocked down. He's got the bits of fluff to show for gunfire and cannon fire. For all the world, it looks like a tabletop war game, but it's clearly from his youth. And you can feel that was the last time he felt like he was in control of something. And I want to give Cassandra that image too. So you see that split second, you see the soldiers, you see him, you see Vanessa's response as the pistol drops, you see Ben going forward with the rage, Anchor, as always, standing at your shoulder waiting to do your bidding. What do?
Well, after he says, put it back, and she says no, and
Yeah.
Ben asks him, what's your deal, you fucker?
Yeah.
Cassandra, she is visibly angry with this person.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no amount of patheticness will trigger her empathy or her sympathy or her compassion.
Yes. You are aware that they're aware that what they did was wrong. Right? There's a moral responsibility that they understand, and they've chosen to do this.
Exactly. She's just standing there like, 30 years you've been doing this. 30 years you could have chosen to stop. You could have chosen to use all of this knowledge, all of this skill to do good in this world, this dying world, and you didn't stop. Ever.
Instead of answering,
I'm not even going to
Okay,
I'm not even going to ask you to give me a reason to spare you because I don't want you to live. I will tell you that right fucking now.
And they stand up and try to look you in the eyes and can't. And they walk over to what appears to be a closet in the wall, and they open the doors, and you see the glow from below. This is a door that opens into the lava pit. And they turn and look at you with a question in their face.
She stands there. Then she walks up to him. She looks him in the eye and says, "We are pirates. We are going to take everything from you. And I want to push him."
Yep. The 300 moment to kick him into the pit.
But-
Yeah.
Vanessa, we clap, bravo.
And I have 0 blood, so this is just a blank roll.
And yeah, 8, just
8.
enough. You shove. They do the they do the, like, without even thinking. They try and sort of slip it, and they almost do. But then you see them. They lock eyes with you, and they let you push them. And as they fall, you're the only one that hears it. Thank you. And they fall to the fire. Ben?
Fuck off.
Yeah, I will not change anything about that, but you can say now I have one idea. So Ben would take because in Ben's mind death is not enough for him. It's a mercy, and in Ben's mind he does not deserve death. He has so much knowledge that we should take from him. As Capitan said, we are gonna take everything from you. We are pirates. So hearing Capitan Cassandra say that, I think Ben would turn into himself, get power from the ship, and use one lock point to get a twist of fate move and get back the skull that he made and that he sold away from his power to take the like the guy is dying in the fire, but when he dies, his soul would get in the skull, and his mission for eternity, for the 30 years of suffering of the whole world, he would be forced to be a mimir, to be a talking skull, to share his knowledge with everybody that he had, to help humanity rebuild.
Well, he himself is trapped in the eternal flames just above the surface of the volcano juice. Does that work for you, Cassandra? Or do you want him dead, dead, dead? Because
Did you just call it volcano juice?
Yep, I did. Yep.
Okay.
Sure. As long as he's not making any more zombies.
But
Fine.
So maybe not his soul, but his
I'm gonna change it.
knowledge.
I'm gonna change it a bit. You use that skull, that piece of skull, and you throw all of your hate and your anger and your frustration into that space, and you use it to trap him forever burning in the lava. But he's only the pain that he experiences because what he knew is written in the books that are on the bookshelf in this room. So you can have his knowledge without having him.
Oh, okay. I like that. Because
Thinking
I
of that made
wanted
my ears sweat. That's weird, but okay.
Yes. because the idea I had that the suffering is kind of not enough, because I see that as it's not something that is like when in so many stories when the villain dies, it's like a redemption because I'm dead now, or I'm
So
suffering.
you're not letting him die. You're trapping
I-
him in that spot.
I kind of wanted him to kind of suffer but work out as a community
Well,
resource.
Yeah.
That-
Well,
that is the idea,
we
but
turned
we
him
have
into
the
a
books.
resource that doesn't require him being saved in any way.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
So he's trapped in that forever painful moment of burning in the lava while you guys get everything he needs in the library.
I'm okay with that. Thank you.
And at that moment, at first maybe it feels like it's just in your head, but there's a and the whole mountain shakes. Vanessa, you're the only one that knows what this is. The Leviathan is about to speak. Is there anything you would like to say before it starts to talk? Because you're the only one that knows it's here.
Vanessa, we say to crew, oh, calm down. It's my friend Leviathan.
And the way that the Leviathan speaks is by vibrating the mountain. And you feel it sort of come up through your feet, up through your bones, like it's subsonic. And this huge voice vibrates. The world changed today. My time and my world are almost over. Yours is just beginning. Please make your world better than mine.
Vanessa will say, but you said that you were in my words. What do you mean it's your word?
I'm not going anywhere. I just won't be relevant soon. It would be best if you left now. For I will be returning to the sea, and when I do, it will be destructive.
Yeah, Anchor is picking up Cassandra
Yeah.
because he knows of anybody who will have a hard time leaving this place full of knowledge it's going to be Cassandra. And with
Mhm.
his other hand, he's like scooping journals
Yep.
and books and whatnot, but also in like such a way that she can use both her arms to grab everything that she
Yeah,
wants to.
absolutely. Yep. So you guys armfuls of books, Vanessa? Yeah.
Vanessa will also try grab books
Yep.
and one soldier toy, and she will look in the hall before leaving about this
Yep.
lab.
And you grab the books, you look in the hole, and you can see this piece of bone, this turned up skull, acting like a frying pan, with the sizzling remains of Nevik in it. And you grab the books and head for the door. Ben.
Ben would say
So-
to the
So grab it.
this
toy.
Leviathan.
The
Oh,
toy, yes,
hello,
yeah.
word serpent. I see that your spirit saved your death from the fight with Thor. And seeing that everybody is grabbing books, he would, because he's now connected to the ship, he would try to use his magic to grab, like Penrite from the Warlocks campaign,
Yeah.
to grab some of the books and put them in Capitan Cassandra's library because he's connected with the ship now.
Because you're connected to this ship, and it's like, where will I put them? Where will I put them? There's too many, and you spread your arms, and like a fishing net sort of develops between your two arms, and you can just pull the last of the books off the shelves into that, wrap your arms around them, and the four of you bolt out of the mountain. As you do, you can feel it behind you starting to collapse in on itself. The Leviathan, you can feel its body coming back onto the fossilized remains. And it's a whole mountain coming alive, and it starts to move to the north. Just as you step out into the river, you can feel the whole ground is shaking. The entire island is one big giant earthquake at this moment. But you can watch the mountain as it tilts slowly first, and then bulges on one side, and then collapses northward, away from all the people that you've saved. This half of the mountain stays, but the other half collapses. And like watching 1,000 snakes with 1,000 snaky arms and 1,000 snaky hydra heads, there's just too much coiling serpenty shape that just pours out of that side of the mountain, tears the earth as it goes, leaves a huge unnatural new bay on the north side of this island. It literally removed a third of the material of this island. And you watch as the Leviathan descends into the depths. You hear the water vibrating now as you step back into your boat. And you see as the earthquake hits the water and that new bay forms a ripple, like a tsunami, very symbolically leaving this island and spreading. You hear the voice behind you. If you need me, just call.
Anchor will ask aloud, "What is your name, dragon?"
And you hear as you head away, Vanessa knows.
What? Vanessa's looking around. I don't know what you mean.
Your Gamanter?
You search your head for, is because that's where the demon was, right? And there
Yes.
isn't the demon there's a space. And in the space, there's a word. And the word is freedom.
Vanessa is still looking at place where the snake Leviathan go. Like even if he's gone along, he's still awoke.
Yep. And you can feel, well, I'm assuming you're kind of wondering, did my powers go away with this? And you sort of tweak in
Yes,
your head and a little fire forms at the end of your fingertips. You can still do it. And there's no price to be paid. The four of
And
you
then-
now have, yep.
and then Vanessa will look at Crew and ask, "What now?"
Capitan, killing demons.
As you say that, you can feel it. The zombies have all stopped. Whatever happened today was bigger than just a mountain. You can somehow tell that every zombie on this island just dropped. Just poof. It's over. As you stand by the boat by the river in a whole new world.
Anchor like sets Cassandra down and kind of hands her the books. And is there still like a ring of stone kind of around where the volcano was and
Yep.
stuff like that?
Yep.
He's walking to it. As far as he knows, the man is dead or gone, and has left his mark, and he feels the need to memorialize that.
Yep.
And so he moves, and with like the anchor in his hand, he begins to like carve into the stone. And the memorial he writes is, "A poor craftsman blames his tools."
I love it.
Because he can't think of a more fitting
That's-
description of that man.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Here
That is
suffers nothing.
exactly that ego thing, right? It's everybody's fault but mine. It's everything's fault but mine. Ben?
Ben would salute to Capitan Cassandra and say, Capitan, the books that we didn't grab are on your library. I'm connected to the ship now, so I did a little magic.
Cassandra?
Thank you, Ben. She's kind
Aye,
of
aye.
half mentally there, half not.
Uh-huh.
She keeps flashing back to pushing a guy because before now I don't think she's killed another person.
Yep.
And she's going to live with that for the rest of her life, even if
Yep.
even if it was for the good of humanity.
The final lesson of being a captain. Sometimes you have to
Vanessa-
do bad things. Right?
Vanessa will put away books on ship,
Yep.
and she will hug Cassandra and say, "It's okay. I know how you feel with my work. So it's okay, but let you know that with time this will go better. Like, I know you never forget what you did, but it will be easier in future. Trust me."
Of all the
I don't
people that
want
should
it
know.
to be easier.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be easier.
I know. It just, he deserved that. And
I know he
Yeah.
did. I know.
The next
I don't
one
even
will
feel
be
sorry.
easier.
Don't
I
want there to
just-
be a next one. A good captain never wants there to be a next one, right? That's the whole point. So, you guys have got some time as you travel back down the river, just the four of you in this little boat. And I'm sure that there are things that need to be said. The sense of finality to this has got to be sort of sinking in. While there is much more to come, and none of you are done your adventures, this adventure, this day, is done. Who wants to go first? I think I know, but who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay.
I want to go to room of Captain Cassandra and give her on desk book Leviathan and say thank you for that. And back then I meant that in general you can't be hard on yourself with that.
She returns the book to the library.
Thank you for everything, including bringing the book back.
No problem.
Vanessa,
I'm always here, and she will kinda put her hand on her shoulders.
I want a question to ask now before I forget. Vanessa, at some point, do you tear down the shrine? Because you had a shrine to your demon, right?
Kinda, but she don't know where to throw this. She feel like it's a bad idea just throw to the sea. So kinda she ruined shrine, but
Yep.
still her room is creepy. And she also check safe if his demon took away this javelin for killing.
Oh, I like that. Actually, yeah. So when you get there, you look at it, and it's you don't know whether you should disturb it or not, but you check, and there's no remnant of that demon here either. So there's nothing, there's no badness left over. So you can just take it apart and leave your room as you wish.
Is
But-
the treasure there? Is there another treasure for Nevik?
Well, what I was thinking was instead of that, this is why I asked, is because instead of that, in my head, you take all of that down off the shelves that it was on, and in its place, you put one little toy soldier.
Yeah, but I have a bag of treasure
Oh,
from
yes.
before.
Yep.
From
yeah.
Viking fate.
Oh, yeah, you guys have got. We haven't even talked
Yeah.
about how many treasures you guys have got, but I like that. I just wanted that. I just needed to clear that loose end up in my head. But and then I'm going to cut back to Vanessa with your hands just standing behind your captain, supporting her. Ben, I think I want to do next because I want to save Anchor and Cassandra for the end.
Okay, so getting back to the ship, Ben would play 3 songs on his violin. The first one would be Mariner's Revenge by the December. Is the song that encapsulated his life, that it's for a fourth war break, because that's the song that inspired this character. So that would be his past life.
And
Then
no memories attached to it except to normal memories like you would have of your childhood. As bad as it was, there's no magic attached to it now, just memories.
That would be his first song. The second song he would play, it would be about his deal with the devil and his problems with that. It would be the devil came down to Georgia. And his last song, final song, would be Invincible by Pat Benatar, because it's about the group, the crew, and the future that they will be legendary together. And that power of this music, because this music is magic, it's still a devil violin, he's still powered by the ship, another kind of magic. I think that would summon the spirit of his mother. And his last level up would be to be what's the word, hunted by her ghost, but instead of being controlled by her ghost, he would slowly, because now she isn't mad anymore, because she doesn't have the body sick with the club. Her brain isn't sick anymore because she's just energy. So together he would get to spend a life with the ghost of his mother, and he would kind of kind of subdue her by killing wrongdoers. He would be a vigilante, finding out like bad people, bad parents, or abusive spouses who don't want to change. First, he would scare them, and then if they don't change, he would come back and kill them.
That's the plan.
Kind
Okay,
of like
we're not yet to that bit of
Yeah.
the story, but yeah, that I can
Sorry.
understand that's the plan. I want to stop you at when you bring your mother back and your ghost is no longer haunted by her. Is the word that we're looking for forgiveness? Does
I
Ben
think
finally forgive her?
I think it's not forgiveness, it would be a start. That's why he wants to take her in to give himself time, forgive her,
So
but
maybe
he
a
isn't there
chance.
yet.
Yeah. Okay. But at least in that direction. Okay, I love it.
Yes.
Because it's going to be this is going to be a major scene. I want to go to Anchor and let's have Anchor do the scene now.
So Anchor is, I think on the way back is when Anchor is giving Vanessa a tattoo, but he's talking to Cassandra as he does it.
Yeah.
Are you, first let me ask Vanessa if you're okay with Anchor being the one who like tattoos the Leviathan on her other
Okay.
arm.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm curious what it look like.
I think so. I think the idea of it is that like the Leviathan tattoo like travels down her entire arm,
Yeah.
and like the head of it is like around her fingers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and the mouth is in her palm, and then in the
Nice.
center of her palm is a very tiny little imp that is like devoured every time she closes her hand.
Okay,
love
and
it.
looks cool.
Oh yeah, and then it's on the other hand, right? So you've got the leftover demon hand from that experience, and then on the other hand, you've got the Leviathan tattoo all the way down and into your palm, showing how you defeated them. That's beautiful. Okay.
But he's kind of looking to Cassandra. He'd overheard the conversation where Ben and Vanessa were both kind of like, it gets easier over time, and she'd been like, I don't want it to get easier. And like there's that like proud smile when she says that, like that's why she's the captain. Um, he says it gets easier if you let it, and if you don't, if you remember those choices that you made, I want you to remember also that you made them so others didn't have to. You accepted a
try.
responsibility.
I'll try to keep that in mind. I'm just debating whether to write it down or not. Do people need to know this, what I've done?
I think the first path of a very slippery slope is to evade responsibility for anything you've done. People may judge you over it.
They already judge me. What's one more reason?
The future means to remember all the parts, the ugly parts, the good parts, the heroic parts, the bad parts.
Says, you remember one of those stories we read together when you were little? The one about the Oracle of Delphi, the one where your name came from? The thing I remember the most about it was everyone blaming the prophetess and then doing the things that she advised against. You can't make their choices for them. You can just be who you are. And you can't be responsible for how they choose to take that.
You're right. You're right. I guess by once they get to the ship, she's doing the captain things, trying to get them underway.
Yep.
Like, gets all of the research into the library, starts sorting it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
trusting the others to run the ship while she goes through 30 years worth of probably very horrible things.
Oh, and a lot of it's just ranting. Just the things won't do what they're supposed to, and but in all of that, there is some useful information.
I guess sort it, sort it all, sort the pure science stuff away from the rants.
Yeah.
Anything with combined rants and science go
Yep.
in their own pile.
3 piles.
And she has to take a break to get some air because oh my god, this prick.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Also, Vanessa will offer if she needs help with the sorting.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I like it. So when we get back to this ship, Cassandra and Vanessa are doing that. The crew is working like a well-oiled machine. Ben is up on deck, sort of working with the crew. He's he's the he was going to be the new bosun, right?
He's
But
helping out.
I want
third in
at
command.
this point I want Ben to go to the library for whatever reason. I don't care. And Anchor, there is one more conversation. I can hardly already talk. Anchor, go.
Talking to Ben as Ben is leaving, or about that he's going to be leaving.
Yeah, talking to all of them about it, I presume.
So I think if it's okay if we flash forward like a week or so, because like I
Yes,
think they're
yeah.
getting the ship ready and
Yeah.
moving downstream, and I wanted there to be something that he's actually doing for Vanessa's sake, which is that he felt when like the dark temple was gone from the ship, because it was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It feels better. Over the course of that week, he's been doing something down in like the underside which is kind of known to be Vanessa's area, but it's like he's asking for her trust. It's going to be a surprise. Um, and he's using Ben as help while he's doing it. And like I think what he's doing is taking plexiglass from the factory and he's turning one of the planks underneath into a plexiglass plank so that she'll be able to look down into the ocean at any time while she's down there. And then there's going to be like the LED lights and stuff that are like along the beams and stuff like that. So like she can
Ben
go
would
down there
go.
and she can be alone as she needs to. Respects that she needs that. And like that's not going to change. But like she can still look into the ocean. She can see the mysteries that are under the water. She can, commune with this creature that she's made a new bond with. And I think it's like down there in that belly that he kind of gathers everybody and um uh he there are like gifts for each of them that are on seats like in it like around like a central area. Does that make sense?
Yep.
um I don't know how much he's been able to find boxes and bows and stuff like that.
Whatever you want. Yep.
Whatever. I think it's like just absolutely like whatever he's been able to wrangle to kind of like put a bow or put a ribbon on it.
Yeah.
Who wants to know what their gift is first?
Me. I'm
Okay.
curious.
So I'm going to do Ben's first because I heard Ben first. So Ben, the gift that he gives to Ben is the tattoo set that he has, the poke and stick set, because he's going to be the bosun, and that means that the captain decides who comes aboard, the bosun decides when they're crew. Does that make sense? Like when they've paid their
Yes.
dues, when they're part of the ship.
And Ben would say to that, I'm sorry that you have to go, but I understand that's what you are. But you will always be a part of me, and I will always be a part of you. And you will live on, and I will feel you, and you will get to look through my eyes and see that we are happy. And when it's my time to go, I will go on another adventure with you. I will help you in my next life.
He gives a smile at that. He says, I know of everyone here, you suffer the most with rage and anger, and I understand that. Um, the only advice that I can leave you with is that rage is power, but hate transforms you into a mirror of what you hate.
Yes, rage is a fire that can burn you out if you're not directing it the right way. And from what you told us, we share a similar past of being kids neglected, but we found a new family, and we can be happy about it.
Um, he he smiles. He says, I think you're going to be great for the crew,
Thank you.
and I think your music is always going to make them smile. To Vanessa, is probably the most counterintuitive thing. The sickle that he uses whenever he's tending the garden is what's in her little box. And it's because, like, for him, the she takes life a lot, and understanding what it takes to sustain it, to grow it, is like the best way that she can be cultivated. Does that make sense?
Yes, but Vanessa will be kinda puzzling looking at Anchor because she never before got telling.
It says it took me a long time to learn how to use that properly. It's terrible for killing people. Don't try it. You have better resources for that. Use that to make life, to feed the crew.
Okay, and Vanessa will perk Anchor and say thank you and thank you for everything, even for that talk at bar.
He hugs her back and he kind of gestures around like the area of like the I'm completely blanking on the bottom deck of a ship and what it's called. Um
But it's not actually down in the bilge. I mean, that's what it would be on a real
y-
ship, but yeah, she doesn't live in
I
the
think it
bilge.
is this case. Well, I think she
Um,
like it partially so.
oh, the doctors, I forget what they call the doctors section of the ship, but that was generally below the waterline too to avoid direct cannon fire.
Yeah.
The cockpit is actually weirdly what it was called. Yes. Yeah.
I think that like he's added some lights, he's added the plexiglass so that she can see out
Yeah.
into the darkness. He says, I understand needing to get away from everyone. It's also just as important to sometimes be amongst them and strike a balance between them.
I will remember that.
Um, and he looks to Cassandra last of all. Um, the uh, the gift that he has for her is like the children's book that she taught him to read with. It has like all of the letters like A through Z and animals that they had to like. He knew what some of them were. And so he could tell her like what a zebra was, what a giraffe was, when there wasn't a lot of reference materials for it. But he needed her to like make sense of the symbols of it.
You don't need to return this one, you know.
Says you're gonna have to teach somebody else.
Just eyes watering, lower lip quibbling, hug.
He hugs her back.
And I like to think that the four of you spend the rest of that night down there talking quietly amongst yourselves
And hugging.
and hugging a
Yeah.
lot. And over the course of time, as you make your way back downstream, literally back downstream, the way you came, every time you get to one of those places, so when you get to where you can see the Silver River, when you get to the Viking village, when you get to the other villages, when even all the way back to the sea. Every time you pass one of these places, the people are standing on the shoreline, saluting you, cheering you, calling you heroes. They just won't stop. All the way to the ocean. And after what must seem like an eternity, but was honestly less than a week, you sail back out into that ocean, into home. And maybe for a split second it feels too big, too flat. You can see too far. Because you've been on land where everything is here and everything is in your face. But it smells like salt out here, and it smells like fish, and it smells like ocean. The storms steer clear, and you feel like it's going to stay that way. Winds are fair, light is bright, and everything is good in the world. Anchor, how do you go?
It's just like quietly. There's just like a day where he like steps into the ship and like he doesn't come back.
Down in your room watching the TV, and you just sort of blend into the wall?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think he chooses it.
No.
Like it's just
It's like the end of a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you go quietly. Is that fair? Because you
Yeah.
know you're coming back, right? You know you're about to appear somewhere else, and you're gonna have to do this all over again.
Yeah.
So let's start with you then. What does the next one look like? What is the next place Anchor wakes up? What is Anchor's future?
I think there are flotillas like all over the world.
Yep.
Flotillas that are, collections of ships and people that have sort of like managed to survive. Um, and I think, his next one is like on the far side of the world, you know. I think he comes to kind of like floating on a tiny little piece of uh pallet,
Yeah.
and being greeted by very suspicious people with spears and knives and no idea like what it is. I think there are I'm picturing kind of like the Chinese style of like sails and stuff like that,
Yep.
and like him aware he's like far from where he left.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But looking up, and there's a familiarity and like a smile on his face as like these people, much like the last group, they clap him into a jail cell, and they like are trying to figure out what this strange thing is. And
Totally failing to understand why you're there. Yeah.
yeah,
Just
and he
like always. Yeah.
and he sees like the tyrannical warlord that's like leading this fleet.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And like while everybody else is like cowering in fear every time his voice bellows and stuff like that, Anchor is just like the last images of him, his hands kind of gripping the bars that he's in, and a smile spreading across his face of
Yeah.
like, you have no idea what you've chained up.
Yeah. And Anchor goes to work. I love it. Ben. Actually, no.
Yes.
No, not yet, because I need to know about
No
the ship
problem.
before I know about Ben and Vanessa. So, Cassandra, what does the future look like? Do you keep the Espoir? What do you do? You are, oh, by the way, you are, when you get home, you are acclaimed as a great captain. Your parents are impressed. Everybody's willing to listen to you. You are a respected figure. What does the future look like?
She would want to keep making the run between the pirate her her the home pirate base and Cradle, I think
Yep.
the whole continent was
Yep, it
called.
was. Yep.
She would want to like be the main contracted uh ship running that supply run,
Absolutely. Yep.
like getting all the trade between Cradle and home.
Oh, I
Maybe
should have called home grave, shouldn't I? Because then you could have taken care of everything from cradle to grave. Oh.
Too late.
but
Let's do it now.
so you
I
go beyond
guess
captain, like you become leader,
I
right?
not. I don't
Not
think so.
politician leader, but I mean hands on, getting shit done. Like the ship pulls in, stuff gets done. That certain or no? You tell me. It's your ship. It's your world.
Um, I think for a few decades she would want to make that run because she's put in this much effort into
Yeah.
making sure all of this doesn't fall apart.
Yeah.
She would want to like train up people and she never marries or anything.
Yeah.
She's never been interested in romance or you know
Cap.
genetic
Yeah.
traits.
The captain
But
is married to your ship, so yeah, that makes 100% sense.
but she would 100% adopt any sea urchins that like
Sea urchins, I
this
love it.
the
What else are you gonna call them? I love it.
the
Yeah.
ocean is still a dangerous place.
Yes.
So there's always kids in need of adopting.
Oh, I
So
love the idea that that's what the organization that you start is called. It's called Sea Urchins, and it's about getting kids, troubled kids, into the Navy, right, or what passes for the Navy in pirate land, right?
yeah,
As part of your
like
trade empire.
she's probably heard Ben's story a lot by now
Oh yeah,
and
yep,
she would see that kids like him would need
yeah,
structure and
yep.
a safe place to be.
Hmm. And you know, I mean,
And
Cassandra knows at the heart of her being what it's like to be ignored, right? What it's like to be taken for granted, to be hated for
mhm.
something, for trying to help. All of those things
Yep.
that kids get in trouble for, right? So I love that. You adopt the cradle, and you also sort of act as this parental unit for all these troubled kids. And just take them into the world. It's a dangerous world, but that's the thing that troubled kids are good at, right? They're used to that.
Mhm.
They deal with that. Okay, so now that we know that the ship goes on and what the ship's purpose is, now we can talk to the other two. So, Ben.
So, first off, Ben would stay with the ship, stay with Cassandra. I don't think he would marry. He would have lovers from time to time. He would be known. He would help Cassandra with little James, the next
Yeah.
generation of James.
Gimlets. Yeah.
Yeah, he would be the adult that he needed but didn't have when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So he would be that strict but good uncle. And yeah, maybe he would create a few gyms
A
and
couple of
take
little
care of
gyms.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So he would be both literal and figurative father to gyms.
So
But but his forward facing face, he would be the bosun, but he would be also known as a merryman because all the songs that he remembers from his devil deal, he would spread around the good parts of the past. He
yeah.
would make sure that all the sea shanties, all the rock and roll, all the classic music, it would be available to everybody and he would be known about it. But his secret life, his dark passenger that nobody, maybe Cassandra would know, maybe Vanessa would know, his secret that he would, because there is still darkness in him, and he would find a way to summon the spirit of his mother and to become possessed by her ghost. And from time to time, to both suit his own personal problems and her mad ghost, he would find someone who needs killing, or abusive husband, or a neglectful parent, or an evil person. Firstly, he would give them the chance
Yep.
to scare them straight, to change their ways. But if they wouldn't do that, he would kill them for the
Okay.
good of the society. And I
Does
think Yes.
Does he become more anchor-ish with time? Does he become more one with the boat? The reason I
I
ask
feel
is because I cannot see him becoming more one with becoming sort of anchor and taking over that position and still being a cold-blooded killer on the side. I can't see those two happening together.
I don't think that he would become one with the ball with time. I think because the madness that his mother suffered was because she got the brain rotting disease. The
Yeah.
I forget the name in English. The venereal disease,
Yeah.
and that's what he was met. And with time, he would subsume her spirit, like she would pass on to another life because her thirst for vengeance would disappear with time. So he would stop doing that at some point, and I think he wouldn't become another anchor, but he would become more of a good person. He would change. He would say goodbye to all the negative elements, but instead of becoming another anchor, I think when he dies, his spirit would join Anchor in his fight. Like he would be another, if Siosa would allow it. Like in the future, he would just be another part of Anchor to help him out.
Yeah. Okay. And that brings us to Vanessa. And I saved this for last because this is the only one that I don't think I can predict. So, Vanessa, what does your future look like?
For some time, I would help Cassandra with her organization and ships and everything, but at some point, I will spend this treasure I have in safe and
Yeah.
buy house deep in Ireland and try to learn gardening.
Oh, I love
And
it.
sometimes I will help Ben with his job,
Sure. Yep.
but because this living is sometimes boring in this island.
Well, the nice part with that is you've got a very good friend who shows up on a regular basis that has a trade route that involves this island. So, is it fair to say that at some point, sort of maybe on anniversaries, the three of you sort of get together and go out and
Yes,
do wild things, Cassandra?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right. So, in that case, I want to end up with an image, if I may. Two images, actually, because the first one we're going to start with Anchor months, years, whatever it is later, fading into the woodwork of that junk. Done another one. And Anchor the Eternal continues to anchor. Ben, eventually, it happens. You cease to be. And at that moment, in Anchor's new world, he looks over the side of the boat and sees a strange looking piece of wood float up. And it looks like a violin. And he knows. Vanessa, I see you as a little old lady. The blue hair from your new look, now replaced with the blue hair of just being old. And you've got a stunning garden that grows around your house, every kind of plant imaginable. But when we zoom in on you, you're swearing a little bit because you can't get this new damn vine to do what you want it to do. And you've got that sickle out and you've kept it in perfect working order. And those hands that once killed reach in and make the perfect cut to allow this vine to bend just enough to grab the trestle and start to climb.
okay.
And Cassandra, I think I see you at your retirement party. When the Espoir is retired with you, it's never done. It's too valuable. It's a big powerful ship, especially after more years with you in command. But it is retired. It is turned into a floating museum. They do a waxwork of you and put you in the library. And you finally get, after all those decades, to take off the hat. What does that feel like?
Mm, I mean, after decades, she would have gotten used to the weight of it.
Yeah,
She feels probably a little lightheaded, honestly,
yeah.
but it's time.
And I like that thought.
And
You, yep, go.
by this time, she would have bought a little farm on the hill and just
Yep.
retired there.
And I like the idea of you taking off the hat, putting it on a hat stand, and then almost tripping because you're so light as you walk away. And then we pan back to that hat. And that is where we'll drop the curtain. I was not ready for tonight. I thought I was, and I wasn't. So, thank you all. That was a tale. That was 13 weeks of character arcs and stories within stories and tales told and adventures won, heroes born and refusing to believe that they were. And then finally, at the end, the sort of calm acceptance of the fact that everybody thinks you're amazing. I love these stories, and I love doing them quick like this. So it's just bam, 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 and it's all there and it's all done. So after 13 weeks, we're going to leave our crew in their various states of retirement, and I'm going to thank all of my players because playing in one of my games means you have to role play hard. I'm gonna grab for your heartstrings. I'm gonna grab for your soul if I can get it, and a night like tonight where I see everybody struggling to maintain control, it just tells me that we're doing this right. So thank you all for being willing to play in a game like this. Thank you very much to Siosa. It was a joy to watch you play a single character and to not have to worry about the entire state of medieval Germany. It was wonderful to watch you just play this. I keep calling him a paladin. He never let me down. He is. It just watching you play this character whose sole purpose in the world is to make it better. And the answer is easy until you have to hit something, and then you just hit something until you don't have to anymore, and then the answers are easy again. So thank you for taking a character that could have been a trope, that could have been a joke, and making them utterly believable. And I mean, we cared about him so much, he made me cry. So thank you. Carol, Ben, character arc, 12 weeks. Really? 4 weeks. Right, from the telling off at the Viking village to your bosun of the ship in 4 sessions, 5 sessions.
Yes, that's true.
That's
And
a
I think-
big. That's a big. I'm not done. You shush. You can interrupt Bison. You ain't interrupted me. I'm not done. I've watched you play a number of characters, and one of the things I see is that they tend to stay the same. This one had this jump, this moment where he said, "No, that's not who I am anymore. I'm this now." And it was a pleasure to watch you play that out, and it was a pleasure to watch your face as Ben became a better person. Because you like Ben now. And you hated Ben when you started playing him. Ben was a waste of skin when you started. And you made yourself love your character by changing your character until they were lovable. That's a skill. Well done. Thank you.
It's all thanks to the people here, you included, Kevin.
Thank you.
Because I was so inspired by Vanessa, by Ciosa, by Anchor, by Vanessa, by Cassandra, and by the world you created, Kevin. And
you.
I wanted Ben to have a dark vigilante face, a Dexter face,
Yeah,
before he
I wanted him to have
mellows
that, but
out.
I couldn't leave him there. I could not leave
Yeah,
him there. I
because
had
you're
to
right,
have the
it would
redemption
be
at the
too
end.
dark.
Yep.
But he needed that face
At
to
some
say
point, he
goodbye
had
to
to.
Mother.
Yes, he had to forgive. Right.
Yes, but
He had to
it
forgive the
wouldn't be
unforgivable. So
instantaneous.
I love that it
would
took
be
years.
a process.
Yep, exactly. It took years. But let's keep moving on. Janet, Vanessa character arc, 12 weeks. I'm going to start the same, but it's different. You took a dark character, and I know you love playing dark characters, but by the end of this, Vanessa was joking and funny and helpful and sweet and sharing and caring and all of the things that she wasn't when we started. And so, again, tremendous character development, especially because I know you wanted Vanessa to be dark and nasty. And she was for a
Yeah.
little while, but I hope that you're happy with the way she turned out, a little less dark and a little
Yes.
less nasty. Great. In that case, I'm happy. So thank you, thank you, thank you for playing Vanessa and letting her change and becoming who she could really be.
Thank you for game.
Oh, you are very welcome. Deku, holy smokes. I threw you under the bus in a sentence one day. I didn't even think about it. And I tossed you into the captain's seat, and watching you come to terms in game and out with what that meant has been a joy. I hope that it stretched you and it made you work. But what I really hope is that you're very, very proud of what you did over the last 12 weeks, 13 weeks. I really hope you are, because you deserve it. You, out of everybody, your character probably had the farthest to go. And out of all the players, from what I've seen in the past, putting you in a leading role was not a role you would have chosen. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Okay. And you handled it like a champ. The end of this, Cassandra was a captain, but at the end of this, Deku was a captain too. So thank you.
Thank you. It kind of doesn't feel real. Like, holy hell, did I really do all this?
Yeah, you did. And especially, I want you, because I know you will, I want you to go back and watch all of these episodes again. And I want you to watch yourself. And I know that makes some people really uncomfortable. I don't like doing it. But there's a reason I'm asking you to do it, is because your growth as a player and as a character was stunning to watch. So thank you. And I'm going to stop now because I don't want to embarrass you any more than I already have. But yeah,
I also wanted to say that this captain always was inside you.
yes, that is the big truth. It was always in there. You just let it out. Thank you, Janet. That was really well phrased.
Yes,
That
It
was
was
super
and
sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a
I
joy to
agree
watch.
You're
with
welcome.
Vanessa. You really inspired us.
You guys all
Yeah,
went
Deku.
beyond the pale. Like, you guys, if you go back and watch this, all of you, I'm sure, will have moments where you go, "That was me," and that's how I get paid. Watching my players forget that we're streaming, and ultimately forget that we're playing a game, and just tell me what happened. Just tell the story. That's how I get paid, and you guys paid me in full.
Kevin, before we do the outro stuff, because I don't want to have another canny moment and forget to thank you. So I really loved the world that you created. I have questions about the guys, about the demons. I will ask them in community chat, because I think other people want to hear the answers as well. So that would be not now, but in the future. But I
All
want
I'll
to
say
thank-
with that is one of the smartest things you guys did in this entire campaign was walking away from the demons. The deals that they were going to offer you sounded awfully good, but they were awfully bad. So you guys avoided a
but-
ton of crap by just sailing away, making a smart decision and sailing
but
away.
Fun was that it was me who walked away from this deal.
Yep. And then the
and
two of
I
you getting
think
to walk away from
Cassandra
your own
had a
demons.
bad
Is
role.
yeah.
And
was
we
absolutely
just
wonderful
walk away
because
we didn't know.
well, you walked away from those demons, you turned on your own demons, and you became the thing that demons fear most, which is confident people who don't need the help of demons, right?
And I wanted to say one more thing. The system as it is created, the crew kinds of fight with each other. Everybody has a vice, and the crew was supposed to hurt each other. But instead of that, we became, and you included, Kevin, because you were the James, you were all the characters, and we help each other. The NPCs, the our characters, and I love this about this game, and the system is malleable enough that even when we change it so much, it still works. And I wanted to say this one thing, that it was supposed to, we are hurting each other, but no, we help each other. And
So-
that's what is amazing about this game for
So
me.
thank you for mentioning the game. Rapscallion the RPG is what it's called. It is available at Drive-Thru RPG. And if you liked what we did with it, go out and pick it up. If you want to run your own pirate game, be it like this one or a more traditional sort of leaping through windows and stealing everybody's stuff game, pop in and check it out. It does both of those things really, really well.
It's from Magpie Games.
Magpie Games, a great system from a great company who's done a lot of great games in the past. But
I want to say a thank you as well
Okay.
before we go.
Yep.
I know you are like a lot of other people in this community, that like there's an upper limit of compliments and stuff like that. But I want to say I signed up for this with the ulterior motive of like wanting to learn how to be a better GM from watching you do it.
Oh.
And so I was not disappointed. And
Oh.
I just really appreciate it, and thank you for having me here. So
thank you for that. That is a real compliment. I know you guys love this, and yeah, it's hard to hear it, but thank you for saying it. I keep telling people to accept compliments, so I'm just going to shut up and say thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel really good. You guys staying up until the middle of the night, finding that out, knowing that that I give you the confidence to let it all hang out. That's my goal. I want confidence, because that's how we make the world a better place. So, with that, I want to thank everybody in chat tonight. I hope you had your tissues with you, because I'm betting you needed them. I did, and I was sitting here watching it. So, thank you. Anybody that watches the VOD, thank you. Before it goes up, this is the last one. So, watch it on YouTube. The whole group will be up there within the next couple days, so you can binge watch the whole thing.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13 episodes. And with that, the important bit remains. This game might be over, but this channel isn't. We are here multiple nights a week, up to soon, probably back up to 5 or 6 or 7 nights a week again. We'll get there soon. But that means you can come and see us every night. And that means you only got to go 24 hours between the visits. And that means that it's a fairly small ask. That until the next time you see us, you can come play with us. Join the Discord. You want to get in one of these games, let us know. But if you enjoyed it, please pay it forward by, please, until the next time we see you, be nice to each other.
Bye.
Anyone who wants to
night.
play gets to play.
Thank you.